Hi all, my name is Logan from Game Engineer Labs, and if you want to see how I took this and turned it into this, well, I'm about to show you how. Hi guys, my name's Logan. Welcome to Game Engineer Labs, your source for tech, gaming, and 3D printing. So some of you might know the new Pokemon games are out on the Nintendo Switch, and me being a lifelong Pokemon fan, I've played the game since Red. I figured why not take my love of the Pokemon games and combine it with my engineering skill and start building a life-size Pikachu. So I started this off a couple of weeks ago, and it took a couple weeks to work on, over 93 hours of print time, and I documented the whole process. So let me show you how it's done.
So the first thing that I ended up doing was go to Cult 3D and honestly just searched Pikachu to find some STL models. So the one I ended up finding was this right here. But I will say this. So the creator of this model, I actually followed on Instagram. And I've been following their STLs and prints and design files for quite some time. So as soon as I figured out that I wanted to do a full-scale Pikachu print, I figured, you know what, I'm going to check out their store and see what they have. To be perfectly honest, whenever I do prints like this, the first thing I do is try to see if somebody else has created the file. Not because I can't do 3D modeling, I absolutely can. But if you look, so this is a package of 3 different STL files. It's a Pichu, a Raichu, and a Pikachu. It costs $3.11 for this file. If I were to design this Pikachu, it would probably take me hours upon hours to do it. And to take hours to do something that I could literally get for $3.11, you know, this is a coffee. You're basically paying for the artist to get a coffee. It's really not that bad. And quite frankly, Scrazy One, this guy I don't even know who they really are in real life. I know them from their avatar. The designer of these files has just a crazy amount of Pokemon prints that, I mean, you could pretty much find anything from the new games, the old games. This is their model pack, so these all come as a group. But honestly, like, Scrazy One has a whole bunch of individual ones too. So it's worth checking out. Definitely check out their models and highly recommend. Okay, so first thing I did was once the file was all downloaded, I went ahead and I imported it into Ultimaker Cura. And the reason why I did this, so there's definitely a ton of different slicers out there. I use an Anycubic Chiron printer, and so it just made sense. This is like the default software. So I imported it in there. It was a pretty small model to begin with. Obviously, it's supposed to be usually a small print, but it kind of printed, or when I imported it, it went on its back. So I had to flip it over. And then once it was flipped over, I then had to scale it. So I checked the Pokedex to see how tall he was and basically calculated the math and then made him the actual size that he is based off of the Pokedex. I gave it the proper print settings. In this case, it was just the default set by my printer. I did supports, and then I basically sliced it, took it to my printer, and kicked off the printing process.
So I just kind of wanted to show off the print a little bit. This has been going for roughly 7 days now. We're getting close towards the end of the print. I do have a time lapse. I'll definitely be showing a time lapse in this video, but I just wanted to show it off because this thing is looking so good. Pikachu is going to be amazing. I mean, this is basically life size. I scaled it to what is based on the Pokedex, and the print is just coming off so well right now, and I can't hope for anything better than this. So fingers crossed that it continues and that it prints successfully and that we'll have a really cool print in the next few hours. After 93 hours and 25 minutes, we finally have a life-size Pikachu. This guy is massive. And as you can see, like I kind of cleaned up some of the supports from the time-lapse video to at least clean them up a little bit. But we are ready for the next phase, which is going to be filling in all of these layer lines. And I'm probably going to be using some Soriatech resin, just because I have a resin printer, I have it laying around, and this is kind of like not a great bottle. So it'll be good for filling up or filling in layer lines. I do have some Liquitex that's going to be coming in today, the modeling paste, which I might use on this, I might not. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how the resin works out. But once that is done and I start filling all of these in, I'll start taking off more of the supports when my Dremel is recharged, because it died while I was trying to take these off. So, but let's go ahead. I'll show off the process. Okay, so working on Pikachu, burning the midnight oil. As you can tell, it's a little dark outside. But I went ahead and removed a ton of the supports, and I started working on like actually cleaning up all the layer lines outside of resin. I ended up using Liquitex modeling paste for it, and it worked out. It's working out really, really well, and it's drying really quick. I always thought I would stick with Bondo, but this modeling paste is fantastic. It dries quick and it's not toxic. So, but let me go ahead and show you my progress so far. I basically just used the modeling paste on the areas that were really, really rough. The eyes came out super rough, and like on the bottom where all the support material, that came out really, really rough as well. So I'll probably have to do more work on his feet. And also his tail, but overall it looks like it came out pretty good. The resin over here actually worked pretty well on those layer lines, but I'll probably have to do some more work. But fortunately that's going to be it for tonight. I'll probably have to pick it up tomorrow and I'll start working on the sanding, but I've only got 2 days left. So. Okay guys, next day. Sorry for the jump cut, but gonna start sanding Pikachu, and let's get started. All the filling, sanding, priming, repeat, all of that is now done. Let's go ahead and finish this guy up and give him a good paint job. Sorry about the strange jump cut, Future Logan here. I totally realized that as I was going through this, I never actually talked about the paints that I used. So I want to go ahead and kind of walk through what I used. So for the primer, I ended up using this Rust-Oleum Automotive Primer, 2-for-1. Filler and sandable. This is really good when you want to fill layer lines. For the actual yellow, I used this, what is it? Acrylic RAL Evolution Pinty Plus. I think this is actually something that might be out of Europe because it has a lot of different languages on the back that are more European languages. I will say the color on this, I mean, it came out so true to color. But I will say that the spray can is really awful. So you kind of got to make sure that you clean it off every so many minutes so that it doesn't splatter. I did have instances of splatter when I was using it. But overall the color is just, it's incredible. And it really matched what Pikachu looks like. And in this case, the color's, it's Sunny Yellow is the one that I used. For the whites in the eyes, I ended up using Createx. And it's this airbrush colors. It's usually with their automotive airbrushing paints. This works so well. I've had this for every time I need white, I always get this because the opaque color just comes out really, really good, and it's great to airbrush, and it's really easy to airbrush with this too. I did not airbrush. I freehand painted the eyes, and it still came out just as beautiful if I airbrushed it. The blacks in the eyes, same thing, Createx. This one is also with their automotive paints. I know it's not listed as an automotive paint, but at least that's where I found it in the airbrushing section. This is opaque black. This also came out really good, freehand painted, looks amazing. The red, I use same thing, opaque red, just standard red. Same section, worked amazing, freehand painted it, loved it. Okay, so for the brown. The brown was a little bit unfortunate because I could not find any Createx browns at the hobby stores that I went to. In my area, it turns out that they're really not selling as much airbrush paints anymore, and they're expecting you to buy it online, which is a huge letdown. But I did find it's this model color acrylic, and this also came out really, really well. But you know, it was not my first choice. If I could have found Createx, I probably went with the Createx brown, something light brown, maybe rust. I don't even know. This is mahogany brown, and mahogany brown came out pretty good. All right, let's go back to it. Is the finished product. As you can see, he is massive for a Pikachu. He's 1-to-1 scale. I went to the Pokedex just to find out exactly how tall he was, and I scaled it correctly to match. Totally love this print, and I'm really, really proud of it. A couple things I would like to do better next time. Move away from freehand painting. I mean, it looks fine on camera, but if you're up close to it, you can kind of see where it wasn't all in the lines. I would like to mask it off. I just ran out of time, so I just rolled with what I had. The other thing is, I don't know if you can see this on camera. You can kind of see some of the layer lines in here. It's not terrible, but at the same time, I really could have easily spent another one and a half weeks going through this to really, really clean it up. I was just kind of getting down to the wire. Really wanted to get this video out during this weekend as you're watching this. And just really finish this up. But overall, I'm really, really proud of this. It looks incredible, and this is something that I'm going to be keeping for a long time. But if you liked what you saw, please click like, subscribe to the channel. I hope to be doing more projects like this, more gaming, more tech, picking up the channel again. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.